To this day, many are still trying to solve the puzzle of what actually happened to Amelia.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're exploring 10 celebrity disappearances that can't be explained.
Are we any closer to getting answers about the union leader/mobster's mysterious disappearance?
For this list, we'll be looking at notable cases of famous people disappearing, which are unlikely to be solved because of tampered or missing evidence, time passed, or generally mysterious circumstances. Do you think you have the answers? Let us know in the comments. Jim Sullivan. A singer, songwriter, and guitarist, Sullivan released 2 albums between 1969 and 1972.
They told me about a hole that was 6 feet deep, guaranteed to cover my permanent sleep.
Though he wasn't hugely popular in his day, his work has since developed a following, due in part to the cultural intrigue surrounding his disappearance.
I start singing the songs, and the music makes the whole world feel like home.
Sullivan was headed to Nashville when he checked into New Mexico's La Mesa Motel on March 5, 1975. However, he apparently didn't stay the night, and there are reports saying he was spotted on the 6th at a ranch over 25 miles away.
Looking at the sun dancing through the sky, and did he come by UFO?
His car, for its part, was deserted with most of his belongings. Sullivan left behind the likes of cash, clothes, and even his guitar, and it seems no one has seen him since. Rico Harris. Standing at 6 foot 9 inches tall, Rico Harris was a college basketball player who played for Cal State Northridge. He later briefly signed with the Harlem Globetrotters, but a head injury forced him to retire at 24. Following a period dealing with substance use disorder, Harris decided to move to Washington from California to be with his long-distance partner.
He left his mom's home here in Alhambra. On October 10th, he was headed back to Seattle, where his mom says he had recently relocated to start a new sales job and to live near his girlfriend.
But he disappeared shortly after going to see his family in October of 2014. After driving all night, Harris phoned his girlfriend and told her that he would be stopping to get some sleep. And with that, he vanished.
We don't want to think about the worst, so right now I'm keep myself very optimistic. I'm not really letting my mind wander anywhere else. It's an ongoing investigation, so I'm very hopeful.
His backpack, cell phone, and vehicle were recovered in California's Yolo County over the course of the investigation, but none contained clues as to his whereabouts. Bison Daly. Another basketball player, Bison Daly played for a number of NBA teams throughout the 1990s, including the title-winning '97 Bulls. He retired a few years later. In July of 2002, Daly took part in an ocean voyage with his girlfriend, Serena Carlin, and her brother, Miles Debord. They, alongside Captain Saldo, set sail on July 6th, but the boat returned about 2 weeks later carrying only Debord. The latter proceeded to commit identity fraud, posing as his missing sibling and purchasing copious amounts of gold. A sting operation was launched to catch him, but he ultimately passed after consuming too much insulin, leaving behind many unanswered questions. The FBI believes that Debord killed Daly, Carlin, and Saldo, though it's never been confirmed. Michael Rockefeller. The great-grandson of John D. Rockefeller and son of Vice President Nelson Rockefeller, Michael was educated in history and wished to examine the Asmat tribe of Netherlands, New Guinea. However, he went missing in the region on November 19, 1961. His canoe had capsized 3 miles from shore, and he reportedly decided to swim for it.
Their canoe hit a tidal bore and overturned.
As their catamaran was going out to sea, Michael thought this was his last chance.
With the famous last words, "I think I can make it."
Though a thorough search was carried out, neither Rockefeller nor his remains were found. It's believed that he died in the attempt, likely exhausting himself from the swim and drowning.
It was front page news, and the governor and Michael's twin sister Mary jumped on an airplane, flew to New Guinea, and they spent about 2 weeks as the Dutch mounted a pretty wide-ranging and frantic search.
Others say that he did indeed reach land only to be killed. All we have is circumstantial evidence, and without a body, we may never know the truth about his presumed death.
Did Mike make a couple of mistakes? Sure he did. He never should have left the boat to start with.
Richie Edwards. Shortly after their debut single was released in 1988, Richie Edwards joined rock band Manic Street Preachers as their lyricist and rhythm guitarist. He stayed with the group until 1995, when he disappeared. Edwards had reportedly been acting strangely in the days leading up to his presumed passing, withdrawing nearly £3,000 from the bank and giving away various gifts. He then vanished after leaving a hotel room on the morning of February 1st.
Richie has not been seen since he left a hotel in London on the morning of the 1st of February. It is known that on the same day he visited his home in the Welsh city of Cardiff, where his car has also disappeared.
Many of his belongings were left behind, and his car was later found abandoned at a rest stop. Some have reported seeing Edwards in the intervening years, while others think he took his own life. His vehicle was found near the Severn Bridge, which is often used as a jumping site.
So what keeps you going and the family going? I mean, obviously being part of this choir must have been fantastic.
It's been great because it's another opportunity to get together with other family members and to sort of, who better to sort of shape the message than the families left behind.
Barbara Newhall Follett. Widely considered to be a prodigy, Barbara Newhall Follett published her debut novel, titled The House Without Windows, at just 12 years old. Another quickly followed, and both were praised by major outlets. However, a series of personal problems soon afflicted Follett, and her writing career stagnated. She later married a man named Nickerson Rogers, but this failed to bring her happiness, and she fell into depression by the late 1930s. The couple reportedly fought on December 7, 1939, prompting her to leave their residence. She did not return. Rogers took a while to report her missing, saying he assumed she would come back. Answers were never found, but Follett's mom suspected Rogers.
Barbara's mother questioned Nick's lack of effort, telling police, "There's always foul play to be considered."
Oscar Zeta Acosta. A good friend of Hunter S. Thompson, Oscar Zeta Acosta penned various books, but he is perhaps most well known for being the inspiration behind Dr. Gonzo in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
You scare the shit out of those people. They were ready to call the cops. Yes, sir. You're lucky I came back in time. Don't come near me.
Thompson based his iconic novel on the experiences that he shared with Acosta while traveling to the desert city. The latter was visiting Sinaloa, Mexico in 1974 when he went missing.
The real Acosta was extremely accomplished, civil rights attorney, a revolutionary. Didn't wear shoes to the courtroom.
He apparently spoke to his son Marco shortly before vanishing, but as far as we know, no one ever heard from him again after that. A number of people, including Marco and Thompson, believe that Acosta was killed.
A very energetic, crazy, courageous, insatiable guy who just didn't get his due in history.
Glenn Miller. One of the most successful artists of his time, Miller found enormous popularity with his eponymous swing band. The group in its original form was only active between 1938 and 1942, yet they enjoyed 16 chart-topping singles and recorded the first gold record, Chattanooga Choo Choo. But Miller entered the Air Forces during World War II and subsequently went missing in action. Despite not having permission, he attempted to fly over the English Channel with some acquaintances on December 15, 1944. All disappeared with the plane. Miller was officially declared dead 1 year and 1 day later, in accordance with American military practice. Today, his name can be found on the tablets of the missing at England's Cambridge American Cemetery. Jimmy Hoffa. While not a celebrity in the traditional sense, Jimmy Hoffa was nevertheless a very prominent figure, owing to his relation with the International Brotherhood of Teamsters.
Well, because we are financially solid, because we do have an organization that is equipped to handle any situation that comes in front of us, we're successful in getting from the employers what our members want and need without strikes.
This is the prominent labor union that he ran for nearly 15 years, between 1957 and 1971. He also had deep ties with organized crime, and many people believe that his disappearance stems from this relationship.
Hoffa was a powerful union leader, growing the Teamsters into a major force in American politics. But during his leadership, the union grew entangled with the American mafia.
Hoffa reportedly had a scheduled meeting with mobsters Anthony Provenzano and Anthony Giacolone on July 30th, 1975. They didn't come, and Hoffa phoned both his wife and friend to voice his frustrations. He was never heard from again and was declared dead 7 years later. Nothing is definite, but many historians think that the mafia is behind his death.
I don't think Hoffa would have gotten into that car if he thought his life was in danger. He felt comfortable enough with whoever was in that vehicle that he climbed in and went away.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart made history in 1932 by flying across the Atlantic alone, something no other woman had accomplished before her.
Through sheer drive and determination, she would become the most recognizable aviator of her time.
She was one of the most famous people in the world. People hung on her every word and followed her activities.
An enormous public figure of her time, she also notably penned popular books based on her airborne journeys. In 1937, she and navigator Fred Noonan attempted to fly around the world in a Lockheed Model 10 Electra. They made it to New Guinea and departed from there on the morning of July 2nd. While their destination was the uninhabited Howland Island, they never arrived. The disappearance made national news and has spawned countless conspiracies and genuine beliefs.
In the days after Earhart's disappearance, the speculation begins. Reports of SOS calls from her radio give the world hope that she is still alive.
The most popular explanation is that Earhart and Noonan crashed into the Pacific after running out of gas. No irrefutable evidence has been found either way.
We have no evidence anywhere that she crashed into the ocean, even though that's been the common narrative for so many years. I think we have a lot of evidence that she lived and survived in the Marshall Islands.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.